Hi guys, and welcome back to my Foxy channel and the first episode of Tips, Tricks, and Tablespoons. So, first off, before we get started, I want to let y'all know that the information I'm about to share with you is based off of my own personal studies and research, a little bit of school. I am not a doctor. That is just all I wanted to lay out there. But all of this is based off facts and research. You can look it up online. I think I even have some websites. Once I figure out how to copy and paste everything, I will start putting things below. Eventually, the page will get better and better. I also want to apologize for the lighting in this space. I'm kind of tucked back in my bedroom and it's kind of dark. The lighting's not great today. But we're going to get started. So for our first episode, I wanted to kind of go back a little bit and talk about macros, because in order to really know anything about nutrition, we need to know what macros are and calories, which we didn't go over in my last video. So let's start off with calories. And what are calories? Well, calories provide energy needed for bodily functions and overall well-being. Like, without calories, we wouldn't be able to function in our everyday lives. There's just no way. The calories provide the energy necessary for all bodily functions. Without sufficient caloric intake, guys, I'm telling you, I will get this right. Without it, you wouldn't be able, you just feel fatigued and worn out. Calories are also, when you are looking at your macros, are what you're burning. So if you go out and you get your 10,000 steps in that day, and let's say that you've burnt around 2,000 calories for your day, or 2,500 calories, those are your calories, right? So if you want to lose a little bit of weight, let's say that you've got that 2,500 calorie burn, drop it by 500 calories. Do it every day. You'll lose at least a pound a week. It takes some time for your body to adapt. As long as you're eating right, your body will do that and start losing that weight. And that is your weight management based off of it. It's crucial to know what your calorie burn is. Not all calories are created equal. The source of calories really matter. You want to make sure you have foods that are high in nutrients. You want whole foods, which we're also going to go over today. You don't want to go and get empty calories like sugary snacks or things that are high in fat and highly processed. You want something that's a balanced diet that's nutrient dense. So again, we'll go over all this as we go. Everybody, your calories are different based on everything. Your activity level, your age, even if something as simple as where you live can change your caloric deficit or your calories needed, or just any of that. As well as you just got to look and find the dietary choices that you want to kind of go down. And I don't recommend processed foods. And calories are very important. They play the biggest role in our everyday lives as far as food goes and nutrition goes. And without that in front of you, knowing your calories, like what you're actually going to be taking in or burning, or taking out rather, before you put in, without knowing what you've actually burned, you don't actually know how much you should be taking in. And as long as you're eating whole foods, ideally you think, I should be losing weight regardless. It's not totally true. You've got to be putting in the work and taking in the right amount of calories. And if you look at your paper or your computer screen or your tablet, phone, whatever, and you see that you've burnt that 2,500 calories, well, okay, it's been 3 months and I've been eating, only 2,000 calories a day, and I've been burning that 2,500 calories. Why am I not losing weight? Well, what is your diet like? What are your genetics like? Some people just take longer for it to snap in. If you are eating Doritos for lunch and a Subway sandwich, and that's your meals, and then burger and fries for dinner, and you're eating candy bars, and yet you're still trying to figure out, stay below that deficit. I mean, I don't know how you're doing it, 2,000 calories, but still, you can't expect to lose that weight because the sugars and all the stuff that they put in that sits in your body, and I don't know about you guys, but when I gain weight, it's when I have too many fats. So don't get me wrong, fats are important. We're going to go over that as well. But when I gain weight, it's from those fats. Even if I just have, like, on my macro chart, it will show a percentile. So if I am at like 40% fats for the day, and I've done that a couple times that week, I'm more likely to gain weight. Even if I am below my caloric deficit, even though I'm eating below, I seem to gain weight. And it's kind of the same thing with salt. My body's really sensitive to things. Okay. Carbs. We're going to go over carbs. Carbs are your body's preferred form of energy, source of energy. Don't be afraid to eat carbohydrates, peeps. I'm telling you, I love rice. So you can go out and you can do breads. You can do almost any grain. There are, like, you could do dates and raisins are a good carb. Anyways, it's what's broken down into glucose, right? Which is used by the body for fuel. So this is particularly important for the brain and the muscles and your organs. They rely heavily on that glucose. So you want to make sure that you're getting the adequate amount of carbs in your diet. Like types of carbs, there are 3 different types. You got sugars, you have starches, and you have fibers. The sugars, the simple carbs, they provide quick energy. They're like if you eat a fruit, like an apple. I love apples. Milk and processed foods. So I'm not saying go out and get processed foods, because that actually can make your body feel sluggish and you can actually crash. But you can find a simple, like if you really need a carb real quick and you're just needing that pick me up and you're not feeling very good. I know a lot of people that will run into a gas station and grab that chocolate bar. Nowadays, you can actually run into those gas stations and buy Bearbell, Quest, Built bars, Cliff bars. I mean, you could do it before. You could get Power bars. They didn't taste as good, but you can do it, and it is a slightly better choice, although it is very candy bar-esque. Starches, complex starches that take longer to digest, they actually provide more sustainable energy release. I personally, again, just said this, love rice. You can do pasta, you can do bread, but they are your starches, and that is really important to have. I like to have a good amount of starch in the mornings, before kind of like a pre-workout meal. Well, because it is a pre-workout meal. This is what you're going to get, guys. It's unedited. It's raw crimson. Anyways, and then our third is fiber. So again, fiber is very important. Your body, without fiber, your body wouldn't be able to break down certain proteins. So you want to make sure you have plenty of fiber in your diet. It's a type of carbohydrate that the body can't digest, which is crucial for digestive health. It helps regulate your blood sugar levels and support your gut health or biome. Your body slowly digests fiber. So you don't want to overdo the fiber. It's just a slow digestion. And it's not quick like your sugars, and it's not that middle ground like your starches are. And sorry guys, I have an eyelash in my eye. It's getting part of that raw, right? Nutrient rich, many carb sources, I cannot speak today, I swear, especially whole grains, fruits, and vegetables are rich in vitamins and minerals. So, and as well as antioxidants. So, contributing to your overall health. So you really want to make sure that you get nutrient rich whole foods. For your digestive health, fiber aids in digestion, helping constipation, which is also going to help you with your proteins. If you're taking in a lot of protein and you're not getting enough fiber, trust me, you're going to get backed up. It also can help reduce the risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease and type 2 diabetes. And I tend to eat a lot of greens. Love broccoli, especially roasted. Asparagus, Brussels sprouts. I love spinach. I love myself a salad. A lot of people say, oh, who loves salads? I actually enjoy a good salad. Mood regulations. Carbs. Carbs can influence your mood by increasing the availability of, I'm not going to try to pronounce all these words. The tryptophans is what I think it is in your brain. I did make notes of these and I tried to give myself cliff notes on it, and then the serotonin, which is your happy hormone, right? So it's really good things to have. Like, have you ever noticed when you're really running low, and you're just not feeling good? Or have you seen the Snickers commercial and the people are running all low and mean and grumpy, and then they give them the Snickers bar, right? So that's a real thing. Being hangry is a real thing. Your body is telling you that you need fuel. If you listen to that and you start to get to know your body, you'll realize what kind of nutrients you need. Don't grab that Snickers bar. Don't do it. You'd be better off grabbing a banana. So I really recommend to people to try to get in a good, healthy carb and protein. And then if you have access to a fiber, great. If you are at a gas station, nowadays, gas stations have better options. Get yourself a boiled egg. Some places have the pre-cooked chicken. Don't grab that sub sandwich. Don't grab the pre-made sandwiches that you don't know what's in it, really. The ingredients is there. It's all mechanically separated and weird. Don't do it. Don't. Grab the boiled egg if you have to do it. Some places have, most of the gas stations around me anyways, have little vegetable cups. And you get like all these little veggies with a ranch in it. Yeah, the ranch has got a little bit of sugar in it, but that's a whole food and it's going to fuel you in a good way and you're going to feel good. And then, and it's not going to sink in your stomach. If you can find rice would be a good way to go. I've told people if you're out and about and you're just needing that fuel source, sometimes if you're just near a grocery store, you can run in. If you have your car, pull up, grab yourself like bread or tortillas. We're going to get an interruption. Get yourself some pre-cooked chicken or pre-cooked turkey, like fresh. You can get yourself a rotisserie chicken. A lot of places have that now. And then you get yourself like a bag of spinach. Boom. You got yourself a lunch, and a lot of grocery stores also have the little single packets up front, like a fast food place do. Places do. I can speak, I promise. And you can just slap something together, guys. That easy. Super duper easy. That way you're fueling your body and you're not allowing yourself to deplete. You need to make sure that you're feeding your body when it says to feed it. It's really important. That means you've burnt enough calories. I guess we'll go over... Do we want to go over fats next? Yeah, maybe we'll go over fats next. So we're going to go over fats next. Fats are an essential part as well. So carbs are what fuel us, and fat also provide energy and support cell function and aid nutrient absorption. So important. Sounds gross, but it's what aids in helping the poopy slide out. It's true. Sounds disgusting, but it's absolutely facts. Energy sources. Fats are concentrated sources of energy, providing 9 calories per gram. So if something has a high amount of fat, you got to keep in mind that's also adding calories. It's more than double the energy provided by carbs. But if your body reacts like a lot of people's do, it can be too much. I like to keep my percentile of my fats at about 20, I think it's like 25 right now, 26%, something like that, on my macros. And then my proteins have been in the 40s, and then my carbs are really high, like off the charts. And my proteins I've been trying to keep to around 180 to 200 grams. And then my fats, it's not very high. It's like 20 to 30 grams of fat. 20 grams, I think it's max 20 grams a day. I try to keep them pretty low, but they're at the bottom, protein in the middle, and then carbs are way at the top. And my carbs have been at like 250, 300, depending on the day. And without those carbs, I would feel sluggish. But yeah, that's where my fats lie. And they are at the bottom, but they're equally important. They're so important. The nutrient absorption. Dietary fats are vital for the absorption of fats. The fat-soluble vitamins, including A, D, E, and K, these vitamins are essential for various bodily functions, including your vision, bone health, and immune function. Without adequate fat intake, the body could struggle to absorb these important nutrients effectively, and it could affect your whole body, mood, style, like everything. Cell function and hormone regulation. Are you ready for this? Fats are crucial for maintaining healthy cell membranes and supporting cell function. They also play a significant role in hormone production and regulation, which is essential for various psychological processes, including metabolism and reproductive health. Crazy, right? Super important. So, real quick, before I forget to mention this, I like to take a supplement. I do believe I did a video short on one, but I do fish oils. I get them at Kirkland. It's the salmon, I believe, but it's got all the omegas in it. So I prefer that. But you need to have fats in your diet. Don't overdo it. You got to find that low part. But there are all kinds of fats, and we can go over that as well, and we will in this series if we don't do it today. Heart health. Incorporating healthy fats such as monosaturated and polyunsaturated fats can help lower bad cholesterol levels, your LDLs, and reduce the risk of heart disease. Foods rich in healthy fats include avocados, which are one of my favorites, although I have a friend that thinks it's baby poop, but they're delicious. Nuts, which is what she is, because avocados are delicious. Seeds, and fatty fish like salmon. And I do love salmon, and I just mentioned the fish oil. It's just so important to limit saturated fats and trans fats. If you can cut trans fats out of your diet completely, do so. And then keep an eye on those saturated fats, guys. Look at the labels on your food. Like, I have actually picked up granola at the grocery store thinking, oh, granola is healthy and it's nature. It's natural, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then I compared it to a box of, it was like Kellogg's or Post cereal, and the Post or Kellogg's whatever cereal was actually better. It was more natural, had better proteins, lower fats, higher carbs, less processed. What the heck? That was insane for me. It was a oh my gosh moment, right? Because I realized at that moment that I cannot go grocery shopping without looking at my labels now, because I could be buying things that say healthy on the front and fool me. And some companies actually just try to tell you that it's protein. So you're like, you see that protein, you're like, oh, I gotta get the protein. But if you actually flip it over and you look, you're going to see that the macros on those and the ingredient list isn't what you thought. And you can compare it to something that maybe is a junk food. I'm not saying eat the junk food, but I'm saying pay attention to your labels, because just because something says it's natural or healthy or full of protein doesn't mean it's good for you. All right. Brain health. It's going back to those fats, the omega-3 fatty acids. I take that fish oil in the morning, and I'm telling you, they contribute to the structure of brain cells and are linked to improved cognitive function, memory, and mood regulation. It also helps it's also linked to have anti-inflammatory properties. And I'm talking about your omegas. Get those omegas in, please, everybody. Don't be afraid of having your specific amounts of fats. Don't be afraid to have your carbs. Don't be afraid to track your calories. So last on our macros, we're going to go over protein. Protein is essential for numerous bodily functions, including tissue repair, enzyme production, and immune support, making it crucial, very crucial, my favorite component of my healthy diet. Your key functions of proteins, all kinds of them. You got tissue repair and growth, you got enzyme production, immune function, transport and storage, hormone regulation, energy sources. Protein is fuel just as much as what we had just read. Carbs and fats. All of them have calories, all of them do their thing. Tissue repair and regrowth. Protein is vital for the growth and maintenance of your body tissue. It also helps repair muscles, bones, skin, and other tissues, especially after injuries. Or even if you're just growing, or if you're a child, or if you're pregnant, or if you're recovering from an illness, or just had a surgery, or anything like that, protein is essential. The enzyme production. Proteins serve as an enzyme that facilitate the biochemical reactions in the body. These reactions are crucial for your metabolism, your digestion, as well as your energy production. Immune function goes right into this. Proteins are essential production of your antibodies, which help the body fight infections and disease. A strong immune system relies on an adequate amount of these proteins. Transport and storage. Proteins play a role in transporting nutrients and oxygen throughout the body. Hemoglobin, a protein in red blood cells, carry oxygen from the lungs to the rest of the body. Just an example. Many hormones are proteins or peptides that regulate various psychological and physiological processes, including growth, metabolism, mood, so on and so forth. And while carbs are an essential and fats are a primary source of your energy, proteins also can be used for a source of energy when necessary. Like, especially when you're like doing prolonged exercises or if you're doing a fasting, protein can be very important for that. While carbs and fats are the primary, that the proteins can carry on, and without proteins we wouldn't even have the muscle growth and rebuilding and regenerating. I've seen it myself. I think I've mentioned before, my mother has been going through cancer stuff for the last 4 years now, and we have found out how important all of our macronutrients play in her day-to-day life, or in any of our day-to-day lives. And I've seen what taking care of your body can do and doing the right things, and protein is just amazing. Animal products that have protein, or just any meat, fish, eggs, dairy products, like cottage cheese, yogurt, plant sources. If you're a vegan, most legumes have it, any of your beans and lentils, nuts, seeds, whole grains. Some of them lack the amino acids that meat proteins have. So there are amino acids you can buy out there if you don't eat enough meats or you don't get enough of your aminos. So I like to buy the brand Bragg's. They have essential aminos, and you can also get their coconut aminos if you want to go completely vegan. I'm not sure if the other one's vegan, to be honest. I'm not 100%. I love both. They taste like soy sauce to me. They're both delicious. The amount of protein needed varies on your age and gender, your activity level, again, where you live, everything. Generally, adults should aim for about 10 to 35% of their daily calorie intake from their protein, which translates to approximately 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, or 1 pound of body weight. 1 gram per pound per body weight. I'm like, wait, I didn't read that properly. But protein is just, it's a fundamental macronutrient. It's my favorite. I know that when I'm done doing like my 5-mile walks, or if I'm out doing a hike or doing my weightlifting, my proteins and mixed with a little bit of carbs, lots of carbs with a little bit of protein are my favorite. I feel the difference in my body. So it's pretty incredible. Whole foods, guys. So let's go into whole foods. We're almost done. If you've made it this far, please like and subscribe. I know this video is a little prolonged, but I really want to do this right, and I want to teach you guys and show you guys the best way to go about your nutrition and taking care of your body. And I'm not saying don't go out and have that cheeseburger and fries. I'm just saying don't do it every day. You know, try to get out there and eat right for a while, and then treat yourself. Like, start by doing it like maybe once a month, and you'll see. It's crazy. And when you start actually eating healthy and you allow your body to adapt, you crave more. And I know more people that didn't like fruits and vegetables until they went clean and started eating these whole foods and doing it right, and then they were craving things like broccoli or cauliflower, or like I've known so many people that hated mushrooms that now eat mushrooms. It's insane. So give your body that time to adapt and change, because once you do, you'll appreciate it. So high proteins, whole foods, carbs, all this stuff. So whole foods. What are whole foods? Well, whole foods are dried beans, peas, lentils, eggs, fish, seafood, poultry, beef, raw nuts and seeds, whole grains like quinoa. You know, you can, these are all things that I just named that are also full of proteins. Carbs. If you are afraid of like carbs, you gotta just let it go. And there are so many healthy carbs out there that you're probably eating and don't even realize. But healthy carbs, you could go from fruits like apples, bananas, avocados, and berries. I love me some blueberries. I'm on a blueberry kick right now. Legumes, we went over this. Legumes, beans, peas, lentils. Vegetables, you could do carrots, zucchini, sweet potato, corn, so corn. Corn is something that I know a lot of people that love. I love the taste of corn. But honestly, if you're eating corn like on the cob or fresh off the cob or whatever, keep in mind it's hard for our bodies to digest. It is literally a GMO. So our bodies are going, what is this foreign object in me? So, yeah, don't live off corn. Get other things in there. Get some broccoli and some Brussels sprouts or beets and potatoes and stuff. Whole grains like quinoa, barley, oats, millet, brown rice. You know, I told you I love me some rice. I do. I love rice. You could do, a lot of people like oats. Oats make me feel kind of bloated. I don't know. I'm probably not the only person out there that feels that way. That's why I kind of stick with rice, because I don't love feeling that bloaty feeling. A lot of pastas are the same way. There's even some breads out there. If you feel bloaty and you're eating breads, try eating like a fresh made sourdough loaf. Or go to a bakery where they use less ingredients. Because if you go and you buy your loaf of bread at the grocery store, that thing's loaded with preservatives, sugars, all kinds of things. And it's not doing you any good. It really isn't. You really need to go and get yourself a fresh loaf. And I'd rather 100 times down eat a fresh loaf of sourdough than go to the grocery store and get myself a 9-grain loaf of bread that's going to make me feel crappy. Because that's what the store-bought bread does, because it's full of stuff. It sinks in your stomach. And plus, it doesn't taste as good. Oh my gosh, fresh bread has so much flavor. Oh, love it. Okay, fiber. So the primary difference between the complex difference is it's a simple carb, right? The fiber content, complex carbs have high amounts of fiber, which helps slow the digestion and minimize their impact on your blood sugar levels. So if you eat something that's high in fiber, again, I went through this earlier, it's slow. It's a slow digestion. It's not that your body can't digest, it just slows down. And it also helps other things as far as that goes, slow it down. So it's actually smart because it can kind of fuel you for a long period of time if you really need it to. You don't want, so fiber is only found in plant foods. So fruits, legumes, nuts, seeds, vegetables, whole grains. So you want to make sure you get around 30 grams of fiber a day, just for general health. If you're eating more than that, that's okay. Just be careful not to overdo it, because a lot of fiber can really make you have the runs, and I just hate for you guys to go through that. Let's see. Fats. Let's go over some healthy fats. Things that I like to eat. I like cod, halibut, salmon. I like fish. I'll eat prawns or shrimp. Sometimes crab. I look for higher proteins. I know it sounds terrible, but shrimp has a lot of protein in it. Anyways, but avocados, if you're not worried about the proteins, a healthy fat is avocados, like I said earlier, fatty fishes. I like mackerel as far as a fatty fish. It really depends on where you live. I think salmon's more universal, or tuna. Tuna would be a good fatty fish. Almonds, cashews, walnuts, they're fatty. Oils. So good healthy fatty oils. I would not recommend a lot of oils besides olive oil and maybe avocado. I think they're the only two oils I'd really recommend. But as far as that goes, olives are also on that list. So olives and olive oil. Also seeds like chia, flax, hemp. You can go to the stores nowadays and you can buy chia, flax, and hemp in a trio. I like buying stuff like that, and I sprinkle it on all my salads. I like to sprinkle it on my sandwiches, even like little tiny sprinkles, and it kind of sticks or adheres to my sauce or whatever I have on there. Yeah. If you're looking to prioritize like a plant-based whole food diet, you need to try doing like some dried peas and beans, lentils, fruits, raw nuts and seeds, vegetables, whole grains. I believe I have a list that I was in the middle of making because I was thinking about making my next video how to eat your proteins, being whether you're a carnivore, a vegan, the different things. And I'm not gonna pretend that I know the different diets out there. I really don't. I do know how to be a vegan. I was a vegan for a long time, and so there are tips that I can give, but I don't think that we're gonna do that right away. I think the next video, I'm thinking that we're gonna get in front of the camera and I'm gonna show you guys some recipes. But we got a couple more things I just want to go over with you before I let you guys go. The first thing is, a lot of people ask about water intake. So how much water should you drink? Well, the general recommendation for daily water intake is around 3 liters or 13 cups of water, or 9 cups for a woman. I'm not sure why they say that. I don't know why there's such a difference. 13 cups for a man, 9 cups for a woman. I think, again, it comes down to your individual needs, right? So where you live, the amount of exercise, how much you sweat just in general, it all changes it. Even pregnant women should be getting more, or even if you're breastfeeding, you should have more water than anything. If you're active, though, drink a lot of water. I drink around 150, 160 ounces of water a day. Sometimes there's days where it's hard to get it in, but honestly, if you exercise every day, like I do, you need to drink water. You need to be drinking a lot of it. Your activity level, if you're physically active and you exercise regularly, you just need to drink it. Compensate for that fluid loss through your sweat. If your climate is hot or humid, again, sweating. If your diet is high in salt or spice or a lot of sugars, you need more water. If you have health conditions, illnesses, fever, vomiting, diarrhea, fluid losses are high during all of this. So certain conditions, even like kidney stones or urinary tract infections, you need liquids. And drinking a lot of water, it's just so important. There's an 8x8 rule, a simple guideline to drink 8 ounces of glasses of water a day, which equals 2 liters. So even if you can just get in 8 ounce glasses of water, you should be able to get enough in there. Also, something that I think is kind of a crucial thing that I think helps, kind of gross again, urine. So when you go to use the restroom and your pee looks like a light yellow, that's normal. That means you're hydrated. Now, if it's anything other than light yellow, like it's yellow, or it's dark yellow, or it's starting to turn orange, you're really dehydrated. You need to drink water. your body says, drink water. I'm parched. So you need to get that water in there. If you're really dehydrated and your pee is like that dark, you really need to be getting some electrolytes and maybe even go see your doctor, because that's scary stuff. You don't want to be dehydrated. And UTIs are no fun either. If you have a urinary tract infection, man, they're no fun. They're no moss. And cranberry juice helps. You can usually get rid of it if you chug. Like, I like to drink a good, one of those little Simply cranberry drinks. You chug it, and then you drink like 8 to 16 ounces of water after it. I mean, it doesn't hit you right away, but after a few hours, you do feel better. Electrolytes are my last thing, guys. So electrolytes, what are they, right? That's what's bringing us into this. So electrolytes are really good for rehydration. So when should you drink electrolytes? I mean, before you exercise, during exercise, after exercise, in hot weather, when you're sick, during travel, you name it, drink electrolytes. So I do know some people that don't drink electrolytes. They actually just take like a teaspoon of salt and they just pop it in their mouth, or they just bump up their salt intake. So I don't really recommend that, because you could actually cause other issues. I do recommend drinking electrolytes. Are there brands out there that I recommend? Several. Electrolytes are good. There are a lot out there I'd recommend. I would suggest trying to look for something that's more natural, a natural source of electrolyte. Don't buy something that's full of sugar if you can avoid it. But there are brands out there that are good, that do have sugar in them, that I do like. Like Liquid IV is probably one of my long-term favorites. They've been with me for a while. I've been drinking them for about 5 or 6 years now, and yeah, they're my favorite. And my favorite one is the Golden Cherry. It's the best, Liquid IV. I love it, and I can never find it by itself. It's always in a mixed bag with a strawberry, which I don't mind, but I like the Golden Cherry better. Drink electrolytes about 30 minutes before engaging in any kind of physical activity, and it will help prepare your muscles, maintain that hydration, so you don't get muscle cramps, you don't feel crappy, you can actually pull through. And some electrolytes even have a low amount of carbs in them, so it actually helps fuel you a little bit. During your exercise, I like actually having my electrolytes during my workouts, especially when I'm doing my muscle days. I'll chug my pump before, and then during my actual exercise, my actual workouts, I will sip on my electrolytes. It really helps me feel better. After exercise, rehydrating 30 minutes after finishing your workout, it helps replenish any of the electrolytes that were lost during that exercise. If you're out in hot weather, especially if you drink the electrolytes a half hour prior to going out and doing like exercise, or if you're out there gardening or just whatever, or maybe you're out with friends hiking, or just bopping around from store to store, window shopping, and it's just hot, drinking some electrolytes before you go out is wise. It's going to help. It's going to catch that before you get any dizziness or cramps or any of that stuff that you may get without drinking those electrolytes. Also a fun fact, this isn't an electrolyte, but if you are doing a lot of sweating and not doing well, you know what I mean, and you're at the end of your thing and your legs cramping or you're getting those cramps, yeah, I do think you need to get the electrolytes in you. But have a banana. The potassium helps the muscle cramps. It actually can prevent it. Fun fact. Okay, when you're ill, experiencing vomiting, diarrhea, drink electrolytes. Lots of fluids. During travel, especially on days when you're flying, you drink your electrolytes 2 to 3 hours before your flight, and again before you board. And then even during the flight, it prevents and helps prevent the jet lag. It really does. And it hydrates you. It keeps you going. And the consumption and taking care of your body and doing the things that your body wants and craves is so important. And I feel that that is like the number one thing I wanted to share with you guys, was taking care of our nutrition in the best way we can. And that is taking in nothing but whole foods, making sure that you're paying attention to your calories and then what calories you're eating so that you're not overeating. Stay away from processed foods. Read those labels. Macronutrients. Your macronutrients are number one, carbs. Eat your carbs. Two, I'm telling you guys, shove the pasta in your face. Or rice. Then you want your proteins. Make sure you're eating your proteins. Now, if you weigh 150 pounds, do I expect you to get 150 grams of protein in? Yeah, I do. Because I weigh just shy of 200 and I am getting mine in. And I don't know how I'm doing it, but I'm doing it. It's easy for me to get 160, 170. 180 grams is where it's starting to crunch. So I get it. And if you're like 300 pounds, I don't expect you to get 300 grams of protein in. Nobody does. You're not going to get it. You simply aren't. It's just a lot. But if you're burning a lot of calories, you could sure shoot for that 300 grams. You could. But you got to just keep, the point is just getting in as much as you can, right? And don't be afraid of those carbs. And don't be afraid of those little fats. Even if it's avocados. Avocados are your friend. There's so many healthy fats out there. So, and don't be afraid to do research. Check things out. It's everywhere. If you guys are looking for like yummy recipes or healthy recipes, one of my favorite websites is Eat Well. I will try and put their website or some of their information below. But Eat Well is 100% my favorite place to go to. They have helped me a lot through my journey. I've actually been following and eating off of their diets for a long, long time. And now that I've been doing this for so long, I've kind of baby birded it and I'm off on my own. But they really were a big help in what got me started, especially with my nutrition. Knowing how to eat right is so important. Not only is it great for your hair, your skin, your nails, but your internal energy, your whole body changes when you take care of it. And I promise you that. And if you eat properly and you drink the right amount of water and you get out there and exercise, even if it's just 3 days a week, you'll see the difference. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thanks for being a part of my Foxy channel. Please like, subscribe, leave an awesome comment below, or a silly comment, or a wild and crazy comment. I promise that the content will get better. The videos will get better. The lighting will get better. I promise. But until then, stay foxy, stay beautiful, because I love y'all. Crimson out.